Perhaps the most hyped phone this year, the OnePlus Nord is the beginning of an entirely new direction taken on by OnePlus. I've been using the OnePlus Nord for around 2 weeks now and I have a lot of insights that I would like to share with you. Insights that will help you make a better buying decision. I'm Rohan from TechieTechTech and let's go. When I first held the OnePlus Nord in hand, I was pleasantly surprised by how light the phone feels for its size. We have a glass front and back along with a glossy plastic frame which looks shiny but doesn't really feel very premium. The buttons are supposedly made of metal and get the job done but are not as clicky as buttons on other OnePlus devices. In a bend test by YouTuber Jerry Rick Everything, the phone did bend in half quite easily, so investing in a rugged case would be a good idea. Even the mute slider feels surprisingly frail or unsturdy as it does not shift from one position to another smoothly, and when I use more force, it feels like I might as well break it. You have a quad camera setup at the back with the camera module to the left which actually gives a very clean and minimal look. The blue color option is a really attractive choice and grabs attention, while the grey option is more discreet and classy. All in all, while I cannot say that I am impressed by the build quality or durability of this phone, it is nothing that a good case cannot fix. Moving on to the display, this is probably one of the strong points of the OnePlus Nord. We have a 1080 by 2400 90Hz AMOLED panel in this phone, which is actually quite similar spec-wise to the display on the OnePlus 7T. In day-to-day usage, the display looks great. The colors are sharp, the saturation is on point, and the overall multimedia experience is usually on point. We did find a few display defects in this phone and made a whole video about it, a link to which you will find in the description below, but basically, in low brightness levels, there have been multiple reports of a green tint, selfie camera banding issues, and some black crush. It is a shame that OnePlus could not get their act right after already messing up once with the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now, to be completely honest, on my device I did not notice these issues most of the time apart from the tinting issue, which I did notice during some nighttime reading in low brightness dark mode. But regardless, I would have loved to see a flawless display here, and I would strongly recommend everyone who is considering getting this phone to check out the problems being faced by other users before you buy one for yourself. Now let's move on to what I think is the selling point, the USP for the OnePlus Nord, the software experience. See, Oxygen OS has historically been one of my favorite Android skins, and for good reason. There are a ton of customization options, no bloatware, the animations are all light and smooth, and the similarity to stock Android means that the learning curve for using it is almost negligible. Most of the other devices in this price bracket have Android skins that I don't really trust for long-term usage, be it bloatware or poor software update track records or ads in the UI. I understand that a lot of different Android skins have a separate fanbase of their own, and if you are one of them, great, you do you buddy, but if I am recommending the OnePlus Nord to anyone, the major reason behind the recommendation would be the excellent software experience provided by Oxygen OS. But can the mid-range Snapdragon 765G processor do justice to Oxygen OS, an Android skin that usually runs on the most cutting-edge hardware? Well, yes and no. See, for your everyday use, the power is great. UI animations are mostly smooth, there are no app crashes, there's minimal lag and basically no jitters. To be honest with you, I did not notice any problems with the software experience until I made the Nord vs OnePlus 7T comparison video. It was then that I noticed that when both phones were set to 90Hz, scrolling was just so much more elegant and smoother on the 7T. In graphical feeds like Twitter and Instagram, there is a significant difference when you keep both the devices side by side. Now of course, functionally the Nord can do anything that more powerful phones can. It's just that the 765G processor has to struggle to keep up sometimes. But with that being said, I can still confidently tell you that an average user will love the software experience on the OnePlus Nord and they won't have any performance related complaints. But it's a different story altogether when it comes to gaming. See, intense games on phones require as much power as they can possibly get And in my opinion, the OnePlus Nord clearly falls short here. It is a fine device for the occasional gamer who plays a round or two to kill time, but for users who are serious about gaming, you will find better options in this price bracket. Games like PUBG and Asphalt run on around medium graphic settings and the experience is okay but nothing special to write home about. Let's talk about the cameras now. In terms of specs, the OnePlus Nord has a total of 6 cameras with a dual selfie camera setup and the rest of the shooters on the rear. As always, let's talk about the photos first and then move on to the videography. The OnePlus Nord takes good stills in all kinds of environments including low light. This is mostly thanks to the substantial improvement in image processing, autofocus speed, OIS and HDR. The ultra-wide camera takes kind of okay and well exposed pictures. The 8 megapixel resolution is a bummer compared to what you get from other competitors in this budget. Instead of a telephoto lens, the Nord takes advantage of the primary 48 megapixel sensor to produce 12 megapixel zoomed in stills. They are workable and get the job done. Having a dedicated macro camera might sound amazing, but it's only 2 megapixel and has fixed focus. In short, it's bad. You will have to try really hard to get barely usable shots. The 5 megapixel depth camera on the other hand is a great addition. The Nord takes sharper portraits with remarkable and quick subject separation. Be it people or objects, the portrait mode never really disappoints. It shoots decent selfies with both the front cameras. Moreover, the wide-angle selfie camera comes in handy if you're shooting group selfies or need to get more of the background. The nightscape mode takes fairly decent pictures in low light, especially with the primary lens. The Nord does suffer from significant color casting issues in low light which could result in inaccurate colors. The drawbacks include lack of contrast while shooting indoors, low light color casting, and some minor app bugs here and there. Moving on to the videography, the Nord cannot shoot in 4K at 60 fps from the rear camera but can do it from the front camera. Nonetheless, the footage out of both the cameras is decent enough for its price tag. The front camera performs fine in terms of OIS, sharpness and colors. The major issues with the video camera performance of the Nord are buggy auto exposure, uneven noise processing and some color casting. In short, the Nord takes pretty good pictures and videos for its price tag. Even when we consider the bugs into the equation, the media quality and what you get for your money outweigh the drawbacks. Now since the Nord uses the primary sensor from the OnePlus 8, which uses the same camera as the OnePlus 7T, my guess is that OnePlus is finally going in the right direction by focusing more on image processing. Now battery life on the OnePlus Nord is actually great. I got around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time and that translated to 1.5 days usage on a single charge. Warp charging is great to have and I am so happy that OnePlus did not cut any corner here. The OnePlus Nord supports the same Warp Charge 30T standard supported by more expensive OnePlus devices, which means that it charges up at lightning fast speed. When it comes to biometrics, the fingerprint sensor seems to be the same as other OnePlus phones, which is to say that it is reliable, fast and accurate. Not a single complaint here. You have a mono speaker at the bottom which can get sufficiently loud. I did have to cup my hand around the speaker to listen better, especially when watching videos with vocals. This is a problem not faced by phones with stereo speakers because of the front-facing earpiece speaker. Another tiny problem is that your hand tends to cover the mono speaker when you're holding the phone in landscape mode. Not deal breakers of course, just tiny annoyances. In conclusion, why should anyone buy the OnePlus Nord? There are phones with better build quality, better hardware or better cameras available at around the same price point. So why the Nord? My answer to that would be the excellent software experience. See, in my experience, the advantages that come with using Oxygen OS basically are the strongest arguments in favor of the OnePlus Nord. So, did OnePlus make a good enough mid-range phone? Yes, they definitely did. But did they go way overboard trying to hype it up? Hell yes. But for all of you who are looking to buy the OnePlus Nord, if having the most powerful option or gaming is not a priority for you, the OnePlus Nord is a solid package which checks all the right boxes when it comes to giving an excellent day-to-day experience. This has been Rohan from TechieTechTech, and I would love it if you could like, share and subscribe. It takes no effort from you but really helps the channel out. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.